I am an agency dad, and that's what I want to talk about today, just being an agency owner and a dad. All right, there's three things that help me personally as a dad of two with my wife, now living in Panama after living in 12 different countries since I began my agency in 2017, scaled it to multi-seven figures, automated it, and now I have the life that I have today. But it wasn't always this way. It wasn't easy. And so if you're a dad that runs an agency, then I'm sure you're going to relate to a lot of what I have to share in this video, and how, if you are struggling right now to scale, to grow, to really have that balance that you crave, then this video is for you. All right, there are so many demands that our wives and our kids have of us. I know with myself, like I have an office at home over here, but I'm generally not over here. And it's a lesson that I learned the hard way, because the wife is always coming into the office and asking questions and not realizing that, dude, I'm not just staring at a screen and able to just look over here and then it's not a big deal because I'm here at home. I have so much happening in my mind right now, and there's so much that I'm thinking of, that I'm trying to problem solve, that you can't possibly relate to. But I can't say that to her either, because then she feels unloved and I'm unavailable or whatever, and then the kids are banging on the door crying. In fact, even right now, my kid is asleep right now, and my younger one, and I'm wondering when he's going to wake up, if I'm even going to be able to finish this video. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes into the office during this video. All right. The next thing is that really they don't see the hard work and effort that we're putting in, right? They just expect, and they oftentimes see, okay, food's in the fridge, bills are paid. Great job, Dad. Great job, honey. And I found that no one was really understanding that I'm not living this chilled out laptop lifestyle. I'm trying my absolute best to crack the code on financial freedom over here, all right, while taking care of you and the kids, while not sacrificing my dreams. I don't want to be a corporate slave. I don't want to be someone that sacrifices my dreams, my aspirations, because that's what most of the people that I knew and that my parents and my family did, right? I want something greater. There's like this pressure, almost like from each side, where really from the outside we feel like we need to perform for our family and our loved ones. From our friends, they're doing different things. And really the main thing that I realized is that the pressure was coming from within myself. So I want to share how I broke this down and how I got through the other side to multiple successful agencies, where even today I'm coaching and I'm helping my students do the same thing, get to multi-6 and 7 figures. So the first thing, all right, there are three things that I did really well, but the first thing that helped me become a successful agency dad was that I invested in myself and my business. I know it sounds cliche, but I've spent over $100,000, no jokes, probably even more, on coaching, mentorship, programs, courses, because knowledge is power. And the more I learned about the agency world, the more I specifically learned about advertising as a whole. That was a game changer, because, you know, the big thing that I want you to understand is that a lot of agencies, they're really no different to a lot of people that may start a restaurant or a laundromat, any kind of business. They want to make money, of course, don't get me wrong. That is the main purpose of this. I hope that if you're watching this right now, you become filthy rich. I want that for you. But my point over here is that can't be the one and only thing, right? Because there are people out there in the same industry, marketing, that actually love the game, that are studying the game, that are actually becoming the best at the game. And so those that start this as a side business while they're in university or school, or, you know, while they're working a job and intend to keep it that way, they're going to get drowned out very soon, because this industry is becoming more and more saturated as things go along. So yes, invest in the agency programs, the agency gurus. That's how I got started as well. But ultimately, we want to be investing in actually becoming a master at our trade, becoming skilled as tradespeople, which, yes, we're not doing roofing, or we're not doing painting, or we're not doing mechanics. We're doing advertising over here. And I find that a lot of agency owners do not actually know advertising. All right, and it was until I learned advertising that I was able to really create my own rain dance and make clients come to me whenever I wanted. So getting off the ground, investing in myself, investing in the business, that's point number one. Point number two is investing in paid ads. You see, once I got to a stage of certain understanding, having a few clients under my belt through cold calling, cold email, cold DMs, referrals, etc., I realized, okay, I have a product that I know how it works, I know how I can advertise it. Let me actually run paid ads now. And this is truthfully, in my opinion, as a new business, the only way to scale in the short term. Okay, unless you build an incredible brand, an incredible organic presence, which I'm not knocking against. I think the omnipresence as a long-term goal, as a in tandem thing, is very, very important to have a brand, the Instagram, the YouTube, etc., the school community maybe even. But up front, man, I grew my agency only to about $25,000 a month off of organic and like cold. Beyond that, it becomes really unpredictable and unscalable and really, really costly and complicated as well. So paid ads, it's the second thing I did really, really well. I invested in paid ads and I didn't stop until I cracked it. And that's a big part of what I teach in my school community, which you can find in the description or the first comment, where we actually have weekly calls for free where we talk about paid ads for agencies. That's the only focus of that entire community. It's not about fulfillment, it's not about operations, sales, it's just paid acquisition, okay? The third thing that I did really well after realizing that now I've got the business side of it fairly down, but I was still seeing that my own competitors, people in my niche that were different to me but running the same kind of business model, that they were excelling more, like 3-4x more revenue than I had. What was the difference? Truthfully, there wasn't any difference in the actual business other than the operator, aka me. And this is the main point that I want to get to as an agency dad. You see, the thing is that we are ultimately the individuals that make or break the business. Okay, I can guarantee that if I were to come into most agencies today, that I would help scale them up, even if the individual running it right now is having a hard time. Because I, as an operator, think and act very differently with 10 years in the game than someone that's just starting off, that's a year or two in the game. And that's why that infinite peeling of the onion and self-improvement is so important, but not necessarily on the business front, because at a certain stage, the machine is built. The machine works. It's like a Formula One car, right? They're all pretty much the same. They all have the same velocity, top speed, ability to steer, etc. But what separates the Formula One champion from the actual others that you never even hear of? It's them themselves, their training, their ability, their mentality, etc. And so that's where, for me, having a men's community was very, very important, right? Having a community of other men that I can relate to, that go through the same struggles, that are on the same path, and ultimately want the same thing. As dads, as agency owners, that's the thing that helped me start seeing my blind spot, because I was starting to have others reflect to me and show me where I was falling short, but realizing that maybe if my wife told me that, or if my kids told me that, or if my mom told me that, or if one of my regular 9-to-5 friends told me that, I would just brush it off because, hey, I'm different, you don't understand me, etc. So there's this big specialness thing that a lot of entrepreneurs have in general, but definitely agency owners have, where it's like, no one relates to my journey, no one understands me, my niche is unique, my problems are unique, my employees are unique, my client problems are unique, I'm different, I'm special. Right? You may not articulate it that way, and maybe it feels a bit more like it's tough and it's hard, but that's really a manifestation of this internal feeling that we're different somehow. But we're not, right? We're not. We're just lone wolves, and we've decided to not allow ourselves to be seen. So that's a big part of what I really wanted to share over here, is that as an agency dad, I realized I had to let my guard down and get into a community of men that weren't all about the Stripe numbers and the revenue and the flexing and the nice dinners and the travel and this and that. It's just, that stuff is all freaking BS, man. It's all BS. It's not actually going to bring satisfaction, fulfillment. Our wives and our kids don't really care about it. They want the real present us as dads, right? They don't want to see the stressed out, overworked, impatient freaking dad. I know that led me almost to divorce, almost to losing my kids, almost to losing my marriage and even my faith. So, in this game, we can lose ourselves very, very easily. And having that community of men, bar to none, aside from investing in myself in the business, paid ads, which were two big, investments and learning processes, the continual process for me has still, to this day, been involving myself with other men, serving them, allowing myself to be served, allowing myself to be being seen, allowing myself to see other men and helping them. If you were to open up my WhatsApp right now, okay, you would see that there are a bunch of men that are reaching out to me, chatting with me, that I'm reaching out to, that I'm seeing how they're doing, I'm figuring out how I can support, right? And there's even a guy that recently moved into the apartment next door to us, and he just came from Argentina, he's having a bit of a tough time, isn't really speaking about it, but his wife's telling my wife about it, and it's like, I know deep inside the dude's struggling and he's having a hard time, so let me guard my way to, invite this man to some of the things that I think will help him in his life, because that's really what ultimately business is about, guys. Like, it's not just about making money. Okay, there's more to it than that. So I hope that this was helpful. If you're an agency dad, join my community. It's in the description or the first comment. It's called SMMA Fraternity, and I'll be more than happy to hop on one-on-one chat about anything ads related, inner work related, business related, and we also have a weekly call for free for everyone to hop on, and there's no strings attached ever. This is a free community for all men to succeed and crush it in the world of agency. So hope this was helpful. See you on the next one.